Okay, I've been trying to do the alignment on this, and unfortunately it stopped right at the start because the cores, this one here is this is L10, which is the first IF core, and you probably can't see it there, but the get some light across. You might be able to just see it. Basically, the slug is broken inside, it won't move up and down, and same with this one here. It looks fine, but it won't move at all, it's jammed. So I've got a donor set here, so my idea is to, because I can't get the cores out, what I'll probably do is just solder these straight in, desolder these two, pop them in there. That's job done, and it's probably a bit more expensive, but end of the day I don't really want to start trying to take these out and breaking these as well, so that's the plan, so bear with me. Right, well, I've gone ahead and replaced L10 with the one from my donor radio. You can see there's a little bit of ferrite floating around in there. I don't know if it will come out or not. Let's try. No, it's not moving whatsoever, so it's totally collapsed inside the transformer by the looks of it. I can't move it, which is a shame. The problem is these cores are hollow. So what happens is somebody sticks a metal screwdriver in there, gives it some stick, and cracks it, and it basically pushes it in half and expands it out into the like plastic threaded part. Sometimes you can get them from underneath, but this one, I'd need to literally get a metal screwdriver and just give it some stick. I mean, these ceramic ones have got a bit of give in them. Anyway, that one's done. I haven't done the third IF yet, third IF can. So I want to see if this has sorted it, because if it is, then really no point in changing the other one for the hell of it, because it's all extra expense for the owner, and I'm trying to keep it down for him. So let's reconnect up. Bear with me, I'll set back up and we'll give it another try. Okay, quick update on this Dynatron Tourist. It's pretty much had it. I had some major issues with the let's get another one here. I had major issues with the ferrite cores in these. They're like mega brittle. A fraction and they're gone. They're just, I cannot get it, the IF to tune at all. I've already put another IF transformer in from this radio. You can see this one's missing. This is a donor radio that someone on the forum let me have a while back for the switch on it, the rotary, one of these things. I mean, this is not, I don't think this is the original one for this, but it does seem to work. Although someone's botched this one. So there's quite a few issues with this radio, so what we've decided to do, I've had a chat with the owner. I can't tune the IF section of it unless I can find some more cores, but the cores are a weird size. Now this is one that I've taken out of my radio. The reason they're so brittle, one is because of the age of them, and the other is because they're hollow. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Can you see that? No, possibly not. But if I put the light behind it, I don't know whether you'll see it. Yeah, basically it's hollow all the way through. So that slot runs the complete length of it. So as soon as you put the screwdriver in there, or the adjustment tool, and I've been using the plastic and the ceramic ones on these, as soon as you try and turn it, they're so stiff in the actual there's like a plastic cross in here that they screw into. As soon as you turn it, they break. And they're not breaking into one bit, they're just disintegrating. Let me just show you down on the bench here. That is the remains of one that I've changed. You can see it's just gone to dust. Well, they're made this ferrite dust cores, so basically that's I've tried finding some other cores that are the same size, but these are really tiny. The only ones that would fit it would be out of an older style R200 Roberts. So we've made the decision to forget this radio. A few reasons. Obviously we can't tune the IF on it now. Let's get it back up. We can't tune the IF to get a decent signal. It was already down on signal anyway. I improved it a lot by recapping it. Unfortunately, as I say, this radio will go in the spares bin now. But yeah, a few issues. Firstly, we've got this modification that's been done to it. So a hole's been cut out. It's been done really neatly, and the owner was quite happy with that. But the actual switch inside is pretty knackered. So I think that would probably need a new switch in there, because it doesn't really make contact unless you wiggle it. Plus, in order to fit this new rotary switch, I assume it's like the previous owner had decided to cut a piece of the board out. So if you look at these two boards side by side, if I can get him in the camera, that is. I've gone in too close again. Let's come back out a bit. Yeah, so if you look at the boards side by side, you should be able to clearly see that this has got a big cutout in it. This is solid. So what's happened, he's cut through the board to accommodate this switch, I think, this volume control, and he's bridged across. So yeah, okay, that works. The other thing is the power terminal on this one. Let's get that one out of the way. The power terminal, which the battery comes to, I mean in this case the battery goes out to the switch and then back through the switch to here. I wondered, because this is moving, look, see that? I thought this contact's broken off the board. Now on the previous switches, there's one here. That contact there it sticks up through a hole in the circuit board, and you attach your positive connection from your battery to that. Obviously this new switch hasn't got that terminal. If it has, it's in a different position and it won't fit through this hole. So what they've done is they've put, if you can see that, yeah, they basically put a screw through it. Tried to solder it, but it's they haven't tightened it up first or put a lock washer on it, so again that's another problem. Then we go to the antenna wires. This ferrite is not fixed at all. See, it's moving all over the shop. That's due to the grommets. These grommets are all dried up and horrible. Plus, there's a lot of yellow tape on all the wires. So I think somebody's cut and taken this coil off before and joined it back with these wires, which isn't brilliant. So yeah, it's not got a lot going for it, unfortunately. So decided to call it a day. And in a video a long time ago, probably one of my earlier videos, back end of early part of last year, we had this Dynatron Tourist, which is my own one out of my collection, and the problem I had was this volume control, and this is the one actually out of this radio. And if you remember, I rebuilt the track in it, but the switch just could not fix the switch in it. So luckily one of the guys in the forum gave me this one, so I've taken the rotary switch out of this one and fitted it in this one. So this now has a new switch. It's been recapped, done a full recap on it. So what we're going to do is the owner's going to have this one, and this is much more original. One of the other issues with the previous one was this. You'll see here all the writings disappear in here. You can't read this. So I've just finished cleaning this one up. So that's a big difference there. So again, we've got a decent dial for it as well. So jobs to do on this one. I've nearly finished. I've cleaned it. It's had a good old dose of foam cleaner. It's got a little bit of rubbing on the bottom, but I don't think I'm going to mess with that. I'm going to leave that because they stand up like that on their base. But what I've got to do is we've got some paint missing, and this is very common on these radios. I've got a few of them here. This one's really bad, and that one is really bad as well. This is the customer's radio. You notice also that the headphone socket's been moved as well, because the headphone socket should be there, but they've cut it out to put this in, and then drilled another hole up the other side here. So this one's pretty naff. So what I'm going to attempt to do now is paint this back in with some flat black paint, and my finest of finest. It's a 5-0 paintbrush. I'll do my best to try and keep it in gaps, but it's water based, so it should be easy enough to wipe off if I do get a bit of overspill on it. So that's my next plan. So join me in a minute and we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully, and there's a couple of the letters need touching up down here as well. The T's got a little bit missing out of it, and the D. So I'm going to touch those up. I'm not going to do them all because I don't want to potentially make myself a lot more work touching it all up. So bear with me, I'll show you what it looks like when I finish. Well, that's the front all finished painting now. Yeah, that came out alright. My brush did go over, but what I was able to do when it dried, just run my fingernail along it, and it just took it off. Because it's water based, it's not affected it at all. It's come out really nice. Really pleased with that. So that's that bit. Just going to put the thing back in the chassis. I noticed this is a nice ELAC speaker, but there was a ring of foam around here, and it literally has fallen apart. Look, I mean, there's a pile of it on the desk here. It's gone to powder, so I've got to replace that. I find that this stuff does the job. Double-sided. I suppose it's insulation in it. It's a little bit thicker than the last lot, but I don't think that's gonna a little bit wider, shall I say. I don't think that's going to cause us any issues. It's got it stuck down there. Let's cut it off. Assume that's to stop it rattling against this piece in the circuit board, possibly. I'm not 100% sure. Let's join actually. Back a bit further. Scissors. stuff at the back of it, that is. Oh. There we go. Also, we've got the same inside here, little buffers for the battery, or to assume. Yeah, and a buffer there as well, so they're going to have to come off. These are proven a bit harder to get off. No, they ain't coming off in a hurry, so I'm going to get the old goo gone, see if this will get them out off. Let's use a bit of this on them. Just like cotton bud. Let that soak in for a bit and see if that will lift it. Okay, well there it is. Dynatron Tourist all finished. Nice clean case. I've repainted the lines in, touched up the lettering, polished up the face and the brass bit on the front. On the back, same, giving it a bit of a polish. It's got a few scratches and that in it, but that's usually from pulling it in and out the case. So, as I say, we've got the switch that I put in now, so let's turn that on. Sort of fine tuning in the middle, and then coarse fast tuning around the outside. So we get some speech up on it. Unfortunately, I've got the lights on, and it is.
And actually written originally before that in English by Anne Previn and Scott Cutler. Obviously, Natalie Imbruglia took it to the top. And that is a group called, just double checking, yeah, Boyce Avenue. Three brothers who have done big things everywhere else apart from Great Britain.
Now, to get it into the long wave position, there's a long wave oscillator, and then you've got to pull it right round till it clicks.
In sport, for me, it's not obscene. It's an indication.
And that is Radio 4 on long wave.
From sub-Saharan Africa to Asia to the Middle East. rest of the...
He said, my mother used to threaten me with a bunklis, right, which is Welsh for a little slap, isn't it, in Old Llanelli, and Mum used to say, I tell you what, there's more going 7 wet Sundays.
So yeah, tricky little radio to work on, but fairly straightforward. Unfortunately, those IF transformers, the cores in them are a nightmare, so I would advise, if you do get one of these, just do not touch those. If it's working, leave it. Don't try and tweak it. It's never worth it. So there you are, all done. Hopefully the new owner will appreciate that. I'm sure he will. And I'll get it back in its case now, just here, and pop it off back to him in the post. As I say, I have had to swap this. I've done a swap with this one for the other chassis, which has had it, so you know, not really a repair, but got there in the end. So if you like that, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my YouTube, not my YouTube channel, my my website, and also please, if you would, subscribe to me on Patreon, or at least check it out and let me know what you think. Bye for now, catch you on the next one.